is Naman Tandon, and today I would like to greet you all on behalf of Team Arambh. You might know what Team Arambh is, as well as there are chances that you might not know what we do. Thus, I would like to brief you all about our initiative in a very short amount of time. Team Arambh comprises of a group of defense aspirants committed towards helping other like aspirants with the same mind frame. And to keep it this way, Team Arambh will keep on trying to bring the best intellectuals from the best portions of the defense services as well as the civil services to you. Okay, so what Team Aram has in store for today is something pretty amazing. An individual who is more athletic than the word athletic itself, an alumnus of the prestigious Indian Military Academy, we have on board with us today retired Major General Vikram Dev Dogra, sir, Military Academy, where Sir was awarded the Sword of Honor for being the best all-round cadet as well as the gold medal for passing out first in order of the merit. Sir commanded the Poona Horse, the 180 Armoured Brigade on the Western Front, and 22 Infantry Division, part of the Strike Corps. He served as a United Nations military observer in the United Nations peacekeeping forces in Angola, Africa. Sir is a keen sportsman and a fitness enthusiast and has participated in several cycling events. You will be surprised to know that Sir cycled from Leh to Chandigarh over the five highest mountain passes ranging from 13,000 plus feet to 17,600 feet. Sir completed the Ironman Austria, the most grueling one-day endurance event in the world, comprising of 3.8 kilometers of swimming, 180 kilometers of cycling, and 42.2 kilometers of running at the age of 58 in 14 hours and 21 minutes, to becoming the first serving Indian Army officer and the only general in the world to do so, dated July 1st, 2018. Nearly an year later, Sir took the Ironman challenge in Germany and bettered his own timing by 41 minutes, completing the grueling race course in 13 hours and 40 minutes. Last year itself, Sir has also been decorated with the Honorable Ati Vishesh Sena Medal, also known as the AVSM, by the President of India himself for his distinguished service of an exceptionary order. Let us hop on to see what Sir has for us today. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much for that introduction. I don't think I'm on the screen. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. And it's indeed a privilege to be here today to talk to you on a subject which is very, very close to my heart. And that is the power of perseverance. Before I commence, I want to share my screen because I have a little presentation to take my lecture on. So just hang on while I share my screen. Okay, the power of perseverance. And what I really want to tell you is that perseverance is that one key factor which can open all locks in your ambition, in your journey, in whatever you want to do. Is pain a reason to give up your dreams? This is a question I ask a lot of people when I meet them. And I get very varied responses. Many people, and many of them, when I say many, I mean a lot of them, give up their dreams because they suffered a setback, because they faced some kind of a rejection, that they didn't get what they were hoping to get. But what I want to tell you is that pain is not a reason to give up your dreams. Pain is your friend. Pain is your ally. Pain makes you understand that you are alive because it's an indication telling you that something has gone wrong in your journey. It gives you a signal, and we need to take that signal. We need to take that signal, do a course correction, and move on. So, pain is not bad. What is it that you need to know to follow your dreams? In my opinion, there are only two things that you need to know if you want to follow your dreams. And the first one is you should know where you are going. That means, what is your destination? What is your dream? Unless you know where you're going, there's no way you can find the route to that location. Even if you have a GPS and if you don't feed in the destination on your GPS, it can't give you a direction. Similarly, you must know where you're going. And the second most important aspect is the confidence. You should have the confidence in yourself that you can follow your dream, that you are capable of getting whatever you have set your mind to. And just these two things. But before we go ahead, what is perseverance? It is the ability to fight back when you are left behind. And what does that mean? When you're running and you fall, it's very easy to start quitting. But every time you fall, to get up and to start running again is perseverance. And like I said earlier, perseverance is the key to success. The other aspect is that I want you to learn from water. You must learn from water two things: perseverance and patience. And how? Now imagine water flowing. If there's a stream of water that is flowing, what do you see? The water moves very gently through the stream. If you put your hand in it, it doesn't block your hand. You can just feel a caress of the water flowing over your hand. Now, what happens if you were to block this water? The stream which is flowing, you put a block. The water gets blocked. It doesn't get excited. It doesn't get turbulent. It doesn't give up. It starts to rise. And it rises to a point when it comes to the top of the obstacle that you put, and then it goes over. If you were to put a boulder in the path of the stream, the water goes around it. So from this example, I want you to visualize yourself. When you face an obstacle in your life, you must not get excited. You must not get dejected. You must not give up your dreams. You must behave like water. Persevere, keep trying till you reach over your obstacle or go around the obstacle. Now, I will share 5 simple tips by which each one of you can follow your dreams. And the first tip is that you need to make a clear mental picture of what your dream is. When you made this picture in your mind, first I told you, you must know where you're going. Now, having decided where you're going, you visualize your picture, the picture of where you're going, and you note it down in your diary. And every morning when you wake up, you have to read what your dream is. If you have any idol, somebody whom you want to be like, you can paste their photograph also along with your dream in the same diary and look at them. And how does this work? I'll give you an example. When you go to buy a car, or you carry out a market survey, you sit down and you look at a laundry list of cars which are available in the market, and then you come to a decision that I want to buy this specific model. And once you buy that model and you start traveling in that car, you find that almost every 4th or 5th car that you see on the road is the same one which you purchased. And you begin to wonder that, is it that everybody bought the same car as I did? No, that's not true. Those cars were always there. But now that your mind has brought this model into the forefront because you purchased it, you have started noticing those cars. Same way, if you have a dream which lies somewhere at the back of your mind, then it's not going to be focused upon. If you bring it to the forefront of your mind by looking at it every day, then subconsciously both your mind and your body will start working towards getting you closer to your dream. First point. Thereafter, since your dream is not going to be something small, let's first define what is a dream. A dream is not something which you can get overnight. I will tell you what a dream is in the words of our erstwhile president, Dr. Abdul Kalam. He said that a dream is not what you see when you sleep. A dream is something that does not let you sleep. It is so big that you sit and dream about it. You get your dream. Now, because it is so big, it's not something that can happen in one jump, that you get down today and tomorrow you'll get your dream. It'll take time. And that time will vary upon what your dream is and how much of effort you are putting in. The perseverance. Therefore, you need to divide this dream into smaller goals. So when you divide your dream into smaller goals, you also need to give a timeline to it. That, okay, my dream is going to be covered in, say, 10 goals. And I will take 1 month to cover the first goal, another month to cover the second goal, and so on and so forth, depending upon how much time each goal needs to be covered. I'll illustrate this to you with an example. See this portrait. It's a pencil sketch of Shah Rukh Khan. And if I was to ask you people, how many of you can draw Shah Rukh Khan the way he's been drawn out here by using just a paper and a pencil? And I'm confident 99% of you are going to say, we can't do it. We are not artists. And that's true. Unless you're an artist, there's no way you can draw Shah Rukh Khan like this. But if I was to ask the same lot of people, how many of you, by using the same pencil and paper, can draw this one gray square? I'm confident 100% people will raise their hands, because anybody can draw this gray square. And if you can draw one gray square, you can draw 2, you can draw 5, you can draw 20 gray squares, you can draw 40 gray squares. And as you keep drawing your gray square after gray square and putting them together, you get Shah Rukh Khan. And if you consider Shah Rukh Khan's portrait as the big dream, which I told you, something that you want to do, and each of these gray squares is a goal that you have divided your big dream into, and to each goal you give a timeline. I will draw one gray square, say, every day. So you have set a timeline. And as you keep drawing your gray squares and putting them together, you will reach to where your dream is. So divide your dream into goals and give them timelines. The next point is you need to exert positive pressure. Now, what is positive pressure? I'll give you an example. If you have a group of friends with whom you hang out, now, if all these friends are like-minded like you, they all are chasing a dream, they all are go-getters, they have something that they are working towards, then the energy and the pressure being generated by this group on you is going to be positive. You will also get inspired to follow a dream. You will get inspired to work towards your dream. But if you have a group of friends who are carefree, who are enjoying life, they're not chasing any dream, they take every day as it comes, then there is no positive pressure being generated by this group of friends to you to follow your dream. So I want you to generate positive pressure. This is one of the techniques, by having friends who are like-minded, chasing dreams. Later on, I will share with you the technique I used to exert positive pressure on myself when I was chasing my dream. Now, in this journey towards your dream, like I said, it's going to be a long journey. It's not something that you'll get overnight. And you will have to put in a lot of hard work, a lot of perseverance, because perseverance is the key. And in this journey, you will find there will be things that you need to do which will be difficult. You may not enjoy doing those difficult things that are needed. So for those of you who find it difficult, I want to recommend something called the 21-day rule. Now, the 21-day rule says that if you do any activity consecutively for 21 days, it becomes a habit. If, for example, you are not somebody who can wake up early in the morning, but you want to, because that may be related to the effort you're putting in to follow your dream, then try waking up early for 21 days consecutively. And you will find on the 22nd day, your body will automatically want to wake up early. So this rule works well. And the last point, but not the least, is that you have to be prepared to fail. You have made up your mind to follow your dream. You are going to put in hard work. You are going to persevere, but you must be prepared to fail. And why? All dreams don't come true. So when you fail, it shouldn't happen that because you failed, you took it so badly, you were not prepared to fail, that you got so dejected that you gave up your dream. And that's what happens to people. When I told you, I meet and talk to a lot of people who say, we have given up our dreams because we faced rejection. So you have to be prepared for it. And what are you going to do if you fail? You will step back. You might fail is what you know now in your dream. And when it actually happens that you fail, you take one step backwards. You analyze what went wrong. You carry out an introspection. You carry out a reality check. Maybe there was something that you should have done better. Maybe you needed to put an effort in a different direction. Maybe you needed to focus elsewhere. Do all that and chalk out a new plan. A new plan to go to the same destination, the same dream where you failed to go. And along with preparing to fail, you must remain positive. You must enjoy the nature's beauty around you. You must thank God for everything that you have. And that positivity is going to help you move forward. I too had a dream, and I'm going to share my dream with you. My dream was to do the IRONMAN. And as it was brought out in the introduction, it was at the age of 58. That's why it became a dream. And for those of you who don't know what an Ironman is, it's the most grueling one-day endurance event in the world. It consists of 3.86 kilometers of swimming, which is normally in the ocean or in a lake. And thereafter, you have to cycle 180 kilometers and thereafter run a full marathon of 42 kilometers. Now, in this which I was pursuing, I was faced by a number of challenges. You too will face challenges in whatever dream you follow. They're from yours, but my aim of sharing them with you is that you must understand that when you are faced with challenges, you need to find answers and not excuses why you can't do your dream. Therefore, the first challenge which I faced and which everybody will face is the mental challenge. And that means you have to first convince yourself that I can do or I can get my dream. This dream which I am hoping to do, I can do it. The first battle is in your head. The second battle will happen when you undertake the journey. So I too had this problem of convincing myself that I can do the Ironman. Once I managed to convince myself, then came the second battle, which was the physical challenge of training. You have seen what the distances are like, and the training was obviously grueling and long. I trained for 18 months. That was the second challenge. The third challenge I faced was a very important challenge, or I would say a very common challenge, which everybody will face, to do with time management. I was working, and therefore I was spending up to 10 hours a day at work, and the balance, whatever I had to do, was left in those 14 hours. And out of those 14 hours, you need to sleep, eat, train, socialize, family life, whatever else. You will face the same challenge of time. And you have to find answers. And I'll share with you how I did it. Next challenge, once in Delhi, in summer, the temperatures are touching 43 degrees. So the challenge was how to fight the sun, how to fight the pollution, equipment which is made in India. So everything that you buy is either online or whatever may have been imported by the people who run shops out here. So these are the challenges that I faced. And the last challenge, which I'll share with you, and not the least, is the effect on family life and social life. When you have energy to following your dreams, somewhere you will have to sacrifice. And that sacrifice will come in terms of family and social life. I'll share a small video with you of the Ironman challenge. And thereafter, we will discuss the takeaways as to how you can learn from what I went through.
To accomplish something extraordinary, one must have an extraordinary dream. A goal so high, a journey so demanding that its achievement to most seems impossible. For 35 years, Ironman has defined a sport, growing from a single race into a global movement and a new generation of athletes. And the world's gonna know your name. 'Cause we're with the first grade. 25 countries with over 200 events. Ironman inspires us to reimagine our limits, to set our sights higher, to go farther than we ever have before. On the mile, you can walk straight through hell with a smile. You can be a hero, you can get the gold. Breaking all the records that will never be broken. Do it for your people, do it for your pride. You're never gonna know if you never even try. Do it for your country, do it for your name. Cause there might be a day. Ironman is a statement of excellence, passion, commitment. It is a test of physical toughness and mental strength. Ironman is about persevering, enduring, and being a part of something larger than ourselves. It shows the heights that can be achieved.
So these were all shots of my training. And what you're going to see now is the actual Ironman event that I took part in on 1st of July, 2018, Austria, Klagenfurt. This is the warm-up area before the swim. And that's the swim start with 2,850 athletes from 60 different countries. Starting off, you do a 3.8 kilometer swim, get onto your bike, and cycle 180 kilometers, which is right through the undulating territory, the undulating country of Austria. We gained 6,000 feet of elevation in this ride. And you can see these are real shots of that event. Coming down, touching speeds of 60, 70 kilometers. You come back, change, and you're off for your final run, 42 kilometers through the town of Klagenfurt. By then, you've already been on the move for about 9 hours. And that's the end.
Vikram, you and I, man.
So why am I sharing this video with you? Because I want to tell you guys that if you put your mind to it and you work hard, then anything is possible. Okay, let's talk of the takeaways. And the first takeaway I want to talk about is the positive pressure that I generated on myself in this event. Why did I generate this positive pressure? I knew that the journey is going to be long and the journey is going to be tough. I wanted to do it because it was my dream. And I wanted to make sure that I don't quit any time in this journey. And for that, I used this technique called public pledging. I went on social media and I announced that I'm going to do Ironman. Now, when I said that, I basically committed publicly that I will do Ironman, and therefore I shut all windows which were available for me to escape. Now everybody knew he's going to do Ironman. And a lot of people told me, no, you shouldn't do it. You're too old to do it. This is not what you should be doing, and so on and so forth. You will find that when you share your dream with people, 99% of the people with whom you share your dream will discourage you. They discouraged me also. Ignore them. Ignore them and do what you think you want to do. So when I announced to people, I knew that if I was to quit anywhere in the journey, they would say, we told you he can't do it. He's just talking big. So that was positive pressure being generated from outside on me to make sure I went through the journey, and it helped me. You should also be prepared to move outside your comfort zone. When you are going to train for an event like this, or you're going to put in long hours for whatever dream you are following, whether the dream is to do with your profession, whether it is to do with your education, a relationship, wherever your dream is, you will have to move out of your comfort zone and do things that you are not used to doing. So get ready for that. And that's why I said, get prepared to move out of your comfort zone. Commitment. Having made up your mind to follow your dream, there's no two ways about it that you say, okay, no, I will put in some effort now, later on I'll put in more effort. No. It's never too early and never too late. So commit yourself. And commitment means in terms of your time, your energy, your effort, the hard work, you have to commit. Having said that, it's hard work. And when you look at the outcome of anything that you do, I believe 70 to 80% of the outcome will depend upon how much of effort you put in, the hard work that you put in. And 20 to 30% of the outcome is based upon your luck. Now, the luck is not in your hands. Luck is something that you cannot control, but you can control the hard work. And that 70 to 80% is the key to your success. Patience, like water, hard work and patience. And why patience? I want you to focus on patience because results take time. When you start working towards your dream, you will soon start wondering that I'm putting in so much of work, I'm putting in so much of effort. Why am I not seeing the results? This is to remind you that results take time. So if you're patient and you wait, you will slowly see things changing, things moving the way that you want them to move. I spoke of the fact that time management or time is the most important resource. We all face this issue. I meet so many people and I ask them, they keep saying, no, I can't lose weight. I want to lose weight, but I don't get time. I can't go to the gym. I'm working so hard at my work, in my office or at home. I have children and 101 excuses. But managing your time is the key. I'll share with you how I manage my time. I told you 10 hours gone at work, 14 hours left, give 7 to 8 hours to sleep, 6 hours left. In that 6 hours, I had to swim, run, and cycle. Now, I had a job which was 5-day week, Monday to Friday at work, Saturday, Sunday was off. I would get home at 6 in the evening, change, and go for a run thrice a week from 7 to 10. Thrice a week run, twice a week, same time, I would go for a swim. And I had to keep the cycling for weekends because cycling takes a lot of time. Just to give you an idea, if you are to swim 3.8 kilometers, it would take a decent kind of swimmer about 1 to 2 hours. If you're going to run 42 kilometers, it'll take you between 4 to 5 hours. And if you're going to cycle 180 kilometers, it will take you between 6 to 7 hours. So there's no way I could cycle on a weekday. Therefore, on a weekend, on a Saturday night, I would start cycling till Sunday morning. And that was also to take care of the challenge that I told you about the sun, the heat, the pollution, and the traffic. So whilst at night, the heat is still there, face different challenges, but take away from me that find answers and not look at the problems as an excuse not to follow your dream. Discipline is something that will always be a prerequisite for whenever you're following a dream. And I equate discipline to self-love. If you love yourself, then whatever is required to reach to your dream, you will do. And that discipline is required. If you say you want to lose weight and somebody's offering you sweets and you know that you don't have to take sweets because you want to lose weight, then you must have the discipline to say no, because it is for you. You want to lose weight, but eating those sweets is not going to let you lose weight. Therefore, if you love yourself, then you have to have the discipline to do what it takes. If I had said, for example, I don't get time, I'm working, my dream is to do Ironman, but how will I do it? And I never went at night to run, or I never cycled on weekends. There's no way I would have done Ironman. So you have to be disciplined and love yourself. In your long journey to do the Ironman, there will be days when you're feeling low, when the motivation levels come down, when you feel that, what's happening, I'm day after day, I'm working, and I'm not getting results. So whilst it'll take time to get results, you have to be patient, but still it takes a toll on your motivation. So use this technique called visualization. Whenever you feel low, visualize how you'll feel when you are successful, when you reach your dream. The kind of feeling you will get, the kind of feeling people who matter to you will get, your parents, your spouse, your friends, all that. When you start visualizing that, you will find a kind of motivation coming from within. So when I used to feel low in my cycling or my running or swimming, I would visualize how I would feel when I was completing the Ironman, running down the red carpet, the man shouting, "Vikram, you're an Ironman." And that used to motivate me, and it would take away that monotonous feeling, or the low feeling of low morale at that moment. Dream big. You have to dream big. Like I said, it's not something that you will get overnight, so it should be a big dream. But remember what I told you, along with dreaming big, be prepared to fail, because all dreams don't come true. Compete only with yourself. In your journey, don't start competing with other people. You may have a peer group. I told you, positive pressure. You have friends. All of them are all chasing dreams. Some may be chasing exactly the same dream as you are. Now, their timelines and their goals may be faster than yours. They may be moving ahead in their goal, but you are setting your goals as per your capability. And when I say capability, it's to do with your capability of how much time, how much effort, how much energy you can devote to your dream. So your timelines are different. Other people's timelines are different. If you start competing with them, then your entire game plan will go for a 6. And let me tell you, I have seen people in the Ironman, people who had made a time plan of how much time they will take to swim, not following their timeline and starting to compete with other people who are much better. And I've seen 2 of them get heart attacks and die in the swim of the Ironman. So compete only with yourself. Self-belief. You have to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you. So keep that self-belief. And the last point, age is only a number. Don't let anybody ever tell you that it's either too early or it's too late for you to do anything in life. Now, with that, I have come to the end of my talk. If you look at the 5 quick points which I gave you, then the key which stands out there are 2: perseverance and patience. Work hard and harder. And there is no limit to how hard you can work. And the harder you work, the stronger you get and the closer you get to your dream. I have finished. If you have any questions, I'll take them on. And you can also subsequently, if you have a question which you can't put out here, you can get onto my Instagram and send me a message there, and I'll try and answer your question. So having said that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and we'll take on any questions that there might be. Nilay, you're muted.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for that talk. It was one of the most motivational talks we've ever had on the Arambh platform. And you might say that you've commanded Poona Horse, you've been through IRONMAN, and that is very commendable. So coming to the questions, we have a number of questions over here from different people. And as you went on with the Ironman, so 3.6 kilometers of cycling, 3.6 kilometers of swimming, 180 kilometers of cycling, and then a marathon after that consequently. How should one prepare for the Ironman challenge there is in this world?
I'll take the second question first. What makes it the most grueling challenge in the world is that there are three disciplines, all of which require a certain degree of stamina and expertise. And the muscle groups required for each one of them is different. So apart from just swimming, cycling, and running, you also need for transitions. When you've been swimming, say, for 1 to 2 hours, thereafter transiting onto a cycle, the transition and the getting used to acclimatization on the cycle takes a finite time, and unless you have practiced it, it doesn't work. And similarly, after cycling, to be on a cycling position for 6 to 7 hours and then starting to run again needs a transition. And let me give you also a little background how this came about. Why was it the most grueling event? So way back 1978, there was no Ironman that time, and there was an event on the islands of Hawaii where there was a marathon going on, there was a cycling event going on, and there was a swimming event on. All three were independent events. And that evening in the bar, when these athletes got together to have a drink and cool off, there was a discussion that the cyclists are the most are the best athletes. The others said no, swimmers are the best, and the others said no, the runners are the best. So there was an argument, and there was a naval captain out there who came up with this idea that he said, okay, so let's decide, we will get you guys to do all three events. And in 1978, for the first time, they had something called what we now call the Ironman as the first event, where there were 12 people who took part. And these distances were decided that time essentially because 42.2 kilometers marathon already existed. So that remained the same. 3.8 is an odd number. It could have been 4 kilometers also. But because the distances out there in Hawaii between the, from where to start and where to finish was 3.8, so it got fixed at 3.8. And from where the start point of the cycling to the end came to 180.6 kilometers. So it became 180.6. And it has stayed ever since. And in that first Ironman event, out of the 12 people, only 8 could complete. And the guy who came first took about 12 hours, 40 minutes or something. But thereafter, it became a movement. And people realized that this is the event. The most grueling event is because it's a one-day event. There are other events which are tougher, but it's not over one day. They are over 2 days, 3 days. Ultraman is over 3 days. But in the world, in a one-day event, this is the only one where you get 17 hours to complete. In some countries, like when I went to Hamburg, it was only 15 hours, 50 minutes to complete, not 17 hours. So that's why it becomes the toughest event. What was your first question in the same one?
So the first question was, how should one prepare for the Ironman challenge?
So if you take the Ironman challenge, like what I told you, as a dream, and therefore now you divide that into smaller goals. So you have swimming, cycling, running. Within swimming, 3.8 kilometers, obviously you can't start swimming every day 3.8 kilometers. You need to start training. So you start with 500 kilometers, then 1 kilometer you graduate. So you make the same kind of goals and set timelines. And slowly you have to move towards your final 3.8 kilometers. Then cycling, maybe you do 50 kilometers, then you do 100 kilometers, then 150 kilometers. So like that, you have to train in smaller bits, keep increasing your time, the distances you're doing. And finally, you will have to do transitions, that you do a cycling and swimming and cycling, then you do cycling and running. And then you must do all three also. So that's why it takes so long.
All right, so for the next question we have, it revolves around how excuse me, sir, is the video visible?
Yeah, you disappeared for a moment, you're back.
All right, sir. So when you tried out, when you finished the Ironman triathlon for the first time, you're in the final few years of your service. It was 2018. You were 58 years old. What made you try your hand out at the triathlon at such an age where generally people would want to choose a relaxed life?
So you heard my talk. And
Yes,
the
sir.
last point I had was that age is only a number. It's really not about age. But having said that, I'll tell you why I went for the Ironman. Now, I am a guy who always likes challenges in life. There has to be something challenging happening, something to look forward to, something which makes you set a goal. When I was at this stage of my career, where I had been through every kind of challenge that the army can throw at you, things at work become very easy and simple because you know it all. So I realized that at work, there were hardly any challenges I was facing. And even in my personal life, we were settled. My children had decided what they wanted to do. So I was in a mode where I was moving, but I didn't know where I was going because there were no challenges which were coming my way. So I decided I needed something to focus on. And because of that, I started looking around for something challenging, and I found this event called the Ironman. And I said, I'm going to take this up as an appropriate challenge. And that's how I took it on. But let me also tell you that the journey was so tough the first time that I swore I'll never do another Ironman. When I finished this, I said I'll never do another Ironman. And I finished the event and I came back. And 3 months down the line, I had the same feeling again that I need a challenge. And I went and registered for the second one.
So for the third question, we have, how do you motivate yourself for not giving up midway when you are losing interest after your first setback? So it's a very long marathon. It's a very long cycling route and the swimming as well. There will be points in the middle where people start giving up. Like you said, a few people had heart attacks as well, and there must be n number of people who gave up in the middle. How do you motivate yourself, your personal self, to not give up midway when you're over there?
To summarize this, I would take you back to the points I gave. Firstly, is that it's your dream. I made up my mind that I want to do Ironman, so it became my dream. I said, if it is my dream, then I have to be disciplined. It's discipline equal to self-love. I'm doing it for myself. So the discipline has to be there. The commitment has to be there. Now the motivation. You have public pressure. You have positive pressure. That is, I use this technique called public pledging. So positive pressure is there to put pressure on you so that you don't quit. I use that technique. It worked well. In fact, I knew that when I was doing the event, every guy who knew I was doing the Ironman was tracking me. And I told my wife that day that I will die doing this event, but I won't quit. Of course, it never came to that. But that is the kind of pressure that can be generated to make sure you don't quit. So you are using this as a tool. Positive pressure is a tool to keep you in the system. And when you are low on morale, you use visualization. You look at how you will feel when you complete it. Just imagine, after putting in 18 months, and now I'm doing the Ironman, and in between I feel low on morale and I quit. What a fool I would feel like afterwards. When I go back, I say, 18 months wasted, and you quit at the last moment. So use these kind of techniques where you can talk to yourself, you can boost your own morale, you have put a goal for yourself, there is pressure from outside. So this cocktail can keep you in the system and prevent you from quitting. It worked well for me.
So there are different types of boundaries. There are limitations. There are physical as well as mental limitations to what a man can humanly do. you personally said a lot about how you could overcome those physical boundaries, and there are a number of ways you can motivate yourself to do so. But so, how do we break those mental boundaries from keeping us back and to move forward?
Mental boundaries, like you said, are in the mind.
Yes, sir.
Now you have to let your mind fly, isn't it? That's what you want.
Yes, sir.
How do we do it? So we talk of physical endurance, and similarly, a more important endurance is called mental endurance. And we need to work on a mental endurance. And there are techniques by which you can develop mental endurance. And let me share a few of them with you. One is, you must understand why you are doing whatever you are doing. When you talk of endurance, the word endure, obviously it talks of something that you're doing which is not pleasant. That's why you're enduring it. Otherwise, it would be enjoying it. You are enduring. So the journey is unpleasant, means it's tough. Why are you doing it? It's your dream. Because it's your dream, you want to do it. Therefore, it becomes easier if you understand the bigger picture, the how, the connection, the why. Why are you doing it? Secondly, there are two things which work towards enhancing mental endurance. One is willingness. How willing are you to do it? If somebody is forcing you to do it, then you're not willing. Then you will resist it, and your mind will resist it, and you will give up. But if you are willing to do it, it will only happen when it is your dream. Again, I take it back to your dream, your mission. So the willingness is important. And optimism. You have to have the self-belief and the confidence that I will come out of this a winner. Now, how do you develop mental endurance? So one is the technique of you talk to yourself. Whenever you're feeling low, that you say, I can do it. I'm going to ace this. I'm going to come out of this a winner. That's one way. Secondly, you can use this technique of seeking discomfort in your daily life. I'm talking about how you're training for your mental endurance, not how you're using it. In your daily life, you need to build mental endurance. And how is mental endurance built? By doing things which are difficult, not by running away from difficult things. Seek discomfort. I'll give you an example of seeking discomfort. When you go to the shower and it's winter, obviously you are going to use hot water to bathe. Now, for a minute before you switch on the hot water or you turn on the hot water, put on the cold water and stand in the cold water stream and face it willingly. So you are willingly facing or accepting discomfort. That makes your mind tougher. Whenever you're faced with a problem, don't brush it aside. Don't push it under the carpet. Take it head on and solve the problem. That will build mental endurance. You can also do, there are games which help you develop your mind, like Sudoku, crossword. When you set your mind to it and you say that, okay, I'm going to finish the Sudoku only and then get up. It might take you an hour, it might take you 2 hours, it might take you 3 hours. And you sit and get at it, it enhances mental endurance. So there are techniques that you can use to build your mental endurance, and mental endurance is the key which is going to get you through.
So, out of the numerous things you told us, one of the very important things was to prepare to fail. So, how do you deal with failure?
Failure is a reality. Like I said, every dream doesn't come true. Similarly, everything that you do is always not successful. You must understand that failure is a reality. It's one of the outcomes. Either you will pass or you'll fail. There's nothing in between. So you have to be prepared. If I pass, damn good. So like they say, prepare for the best, or hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst. What is the worst? That you will fail. Now, if you're not prepared for that, then you're not prepared for failure, and you will then feel very dejected, very, low on morale. You might even give up and say, no, it's not going to happen. But if you are prepared, okay, I might fail. So what will I do if I fail? You make a plan, like I told you in the talk. That is the only way to prepare for failure. or to deal with failure, because failure is a reality. It will come to everybody at some time in some form. You have to be prepared.
So while you were preparing for the triathlon, you said to yourself that you will not attempt another one after you complete the said triathlon.
Yeah.
And there was the pollution, there was the working hours, there was the family. So did you ever encounter even a smite of self-doubt when you were preparing or when you were going for the triathlon? How did you overcome it and how did you perceive it in general?
Let me be frank about it. There is always that anxiety in you, like, for an exam, you go for a race, you go for any competition. You can't be going there feeling overconfident. I feel that if you are feeling those butterflies in your stomach, then that's the right feeling, because that means you are aware of the fact that you might fail. If you're overconfident, then you're not prepared for failure. So that feeling of anxiousness is there, and I had it too. In fact, there were butterflies in my stomach all the while, because it was a tough race. And when you say self-doubt, I don't think there was a doubt. I never doubted my ability, but I always knew that despite that, something could happen and I might fail. There can be an incident, you might have a cramp, your bike might break down, you may have a flat, you waste time on fixing your flat because you have to fix it yourself. You have to change your tube and tire and everything yourself. Then you may lose time there. Anything could happen. So those kind of eventualities means that you may not finish in time. So that feeling was always there, but I never had a self-doubt, because self-doubt goes away the moment you put in hard work. When you go for, say, and you said a lot of people out here are aspirants for various services. When you go for an exam and you have prepared well, you will find the confidence in yourself, whether it's an interview or it's a written exam. But if you haven't prepared, then those butterflies are anywhere there, but you are not even confident. So there is a difference between confidence and anxiety, or those butterflies, and difference between confidence and overconfidence. I would feel that if you are feeling that little bit of, anxiety in yourself, or that butterflies as I call it, it's good.
So, discipline is loving thyself, as you said, and seeking discomfort is how you'll get forward. But how do we achieve excellence in each and every task that we do? How do we make it a dogma to achieve excellence in
I think
everything?
goal setting is very important. Whenever you are setting, these are not the goals which I'm talking of in your dream. Those goals are through the journey. Here, when I talk of goal setting, I talk of what you expect from yourself. I'll give an example. You're preparing for a half marathon. And in the half marathon, you can do a half marathon in 3 hours. You can do a half marathon in 2 hours. You can do a half marathon in 1 hour. Now, you have to set for yourself what is the standard you're looking for. And that is where your pursuit for excellence comes. Now, you need to set your standards high. If I was to use the same example and I say, okay, I'm happy with a 2-hour marathon. And the moment I reach the 2-hour mark in my training, I've reached what I was aiming at. But if I had set my sights at 1 hour, 40 minutes, then when I reached 2 hours, I said, no, I need to train more. I need to train more. So you must set your goals right. And that goal setting is what will indicate whether you are looking for excellence, or you're looking for just mediocrity, or just scraping through. So if you set your goal right, and whilst your capability may not be there, but you have set yourself a higher goal, then the effort, the perseverance that you're putting in may not always get you to the goal you set, but surely it'll be better, get you much closer to your goal than if you had kept your goal low.
So, while you were in the IMA, you were awarded the Sword of Honor, and you're part of a battalion whose glory is something we've all heard of. So, are there any experiences from your training or from your days in service that you would like to share with us?
Well, I must tell you, I'm from the NDA and the IMA. So in the NDA, we spent 3 years out there, and I found that I was very high in the merit, but I was not on top because I didn't pay attention to my academics. When I joined the NDA, NDA is a full degree, 3 years of degree course, apart from your physical activity. And nobody guided me. Nobody told me that, you are going to be marked for academics, which is going to contribute. So I found that I now needed to take a look as to how I should deal with my stay in the IMA. So like I said, when you face a setback, it was not a failure, but a setback. I thought I should have, probably come out in the first one or two out there. I was not in the first one or two because of my low in my academics. So I took a step back. I analyzed what went wrong. And I realized that if I had focused on studies, apart with the physical part, I would have come on top. So when I joined the IMA, I focused on my studies from the beginning. And also on my physical aspect. Normally, you'll find that in army training establishments, when they take you out in the morning for, say, a PT run or other runs, you run in a squad. So there are about 20 people, and there is an ustad with you, and you are all running together. Now that squad runs at the speed of the slowest person. And therefore, it does not benefit anybody who's faster than that person. So you are going through the motion. So I thought to myself that if I have to do better, then what do I do within this parameter? So I decided that whilst I'm running in a squad, I will raise my feet much higher, like you do high knee raises. So I used to run actually with my knee raising much higher and putting in twice the amount of effort so that in the same speed and the same time, I could benefit more. And I found it really helped. When I did the individual run after that, and I got something called the para medal. The para medal is for the best in physical fitness, where you have to do a 10-mile run, which is 16 kilometers, in full army kit with your rifle and your packs. And you finish that 10-mile run, then you come and do an obstacle course, which is of 22 obstacles, Russian obstacles, and then you do a firing event. So there are 3 events. And because I had been putting in this extra effort in my running, I found that I was flying and I came first. So I think if you look at your situation, why I'm talking about this is if everybody looks into the situation that they are in, you will find how by putting in small effort in places which really don't matter. Individually, those things may not show up. But collectively, when all the small efforts that you put in go towards your performance, there'll be a significant jump in your performance.
Sir, is there anything, a piece of advice apart from everything you told us, that you would like to give to all the aspirants who are aspiring to join any military academies in the near future?
If you are aspiring to join the military, I would feel the first thing you need to do is to go and get yourself medically examined. Because it all starts, although in the entire game to join the academy, the medicals are in the end. But you need to first find out that are you clinically fit to join the Army, Navy, or Air Force, whatever is the requirement. Once you're cleared medically, only then start putting in the effort. Now the effort is in 2 parts, like everybody knows. There's a written exam, and then there is a services selection board where you have to go for the interview. Written exam I'm not going to talk about because there's a laid down syllabus. You prepare, it's a competitive exam, and if you make the merit list, you will go for the SSB. But in the SSB, I find a lot of people get rejected in the SSB. In the SSB, people are looking for only 3 things. One is they want to see how genuine a person you are. Okay, that whatever you're projecting, you are genuinely that person and not putting up a fake show because some coaching institute has told you this is how you need to speak. So one is genuineness. Second is confidence. You must exude confidence. Okay? And the third thing is competence. You have to be competent. Whatever knowledge you are meant to have, you must exude, that must come out in the answers that you give. Now, where people go wrong is when you give an answer, for example, when I talk of competence, I basically talk of positivity. I'm not talking of knowledge in terms of, because you have already exhibited your knowledge in the written exam. Now we are looking at the mind part, because there are these psychological tests, all this, people who are analyzing you are looking at your psychological capabilities. So when you give an answer, there has to be positivity in your answer. That thread of positivity must always be there. And I always quote this example of saying that if there's a glass of water lying with water halfway, then there are two ways to say what that glass is like, half full or half empty. Now, if you were to say half full, it is a positive answer. The half empty answer is also correct, but there is a positivity about half full. Similarly, you will be given situations out there. You'll be given this, test where it's called PPDT, where you have to draw from whatever sketch, some figures they show you. Whatever story you make sure that your story is a positive one and not a negative one. For example, you see a figure and maybe there's a figure with a gun lying there and there's another woman there and something like that, and you have to make a story. You could make a story that it could be a guy who's come back from work, he's a policeman or he's a detective or he's an army guy and he's left his pistol there and he's going to now, freshen up and have a meal. And the other story could be that he's a guy who's a robber and he's come with his pistol and he's now holding up the woman and the other people in the house. So both are correct, because the figures out there can be used in any way, but one is a positive kind of a story, negative kind of story. So the positivity has to be there. The confidence will come if you know what you are prepared, what you are going in for. That this is the kind of questioning that's going to happen. It's over 5 days, day 1, day 2. So knowledge gives you confidence. Knowledge about what to expect. What are the kind of tasks that they will make you do? What are the kind of testing they will do? And genuineness, like if they ask you to fill some forms and in that you say, okay, I am a basketball player. Now when they are going to interview you and they ask you, okay, tell us what is the dimension of a basketball court? And you start looking around and you say, sorry, sir, I don't know. That means you are not a basketball player. You are faking. So therefore, whatever you write should be genuine, or if you're trying to fake it, then you should know everything there is to know about whatever you're saying you are. If you're a musician, for example, and they ask you questions about music, you should be able to answer them. Otherwise, what kind of a musician are you if you can't answer questions about whatever you're good at? So that is what I mean by being genuine. If you write what you are, then they can see through you. So these are the three things I feel as a concept you should be looking at. Of course, the coaching institutes give you so much more about what kind of questions, how to tackle them. That's all good. But this is the basic three things which people are looking for.
So with that, we've come to an end of our questions. And we'd love to have you speak a few words about our initiative, after which Rhea will conclude the talk with her comments.
So I think what you guys are doing is great, because you are a group of voluntary people who are like-minded, who are encouraging people like you to join the forces, to take up challenging interviews, competitive exams. So it's a great forum to get people together. And I feel apart from only motivation, you could also look at some talks to do with, I don't know what all you're doing, but if you have talks on how to crack the SSB, how to crack other competitive exams, people who can give you tips on that, I think it'll help people. So to sum it, I think you guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. All the best and Godspeed.
Thank you, sir. It's been an absolute honor to be here with you. Over to you, Shreya.
Now we come to the end of this wonderful gathering. Try to wind it up, a few words and announcements and words of warmth to all of you. My name is Shreya Sharan, and it brings me great joy and privilege to be able to give this vote of thanks today. We hope all of the ones who attended had a great evening and got lots to learn. On behalf of the organizing committee and the audience, I thank our resource person, Major General Vikram Dev Dogra, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, for all the valuable information and time he spared with us. I cannot thank everyone enough for their willingness and involvement to take on the completion of the work beyond their comfort zone. I once again want to thank everyone here and state that we are grateful to all speakers here over the stage. We thank you for being with us this time. It has been a great pleasure. Thank you so very much.